One of the most common misconceptions about the identity of Christians is this, that Christians, if they live a good life, obey all the right rules, and believe all the right things, are supposed to have a good, comfortable, quiet life. But the opposite of that is actually true. We've never been promised comfort or peace or safety in this world. What we've been promised is that we will suffer, that we will undergo trials, that things are going to be hard. And so when we suffer, we should remember that our identity as Christians is actually sufferers. And what's amazing about that when we look at God's presence and absence is that we suffer because Jesus is present with us. So, Jesus said, "You will be persecuted because I was persecuted." And so when we suffer, we can actually look at that as a sign of Jesus' nearness to us. Because Jesus is present with us, we suffer. Why? Well, because when he was present on earth, he suffered. And so we need to remember a couple things whenever we undergo trials in this life. One, that our identity is a sufferer. And two, that Jesus is present with us when we suffer. And finally, I want to make one final remark about this because it's so important. That in Jesus' ultimate form of presence, we saw the ultimate form of suffering. When the Word became flesh and dwelt among us on this earth, Jesus underwent the worst possible suffering anyone has ever undergone. And I'm not just talking about his physical torture, which was great, but he went through a spiritual, psychological, eternal suffering that you and I could not even begin to understand because he was separated from God. He was ripped apart from his own eternal nature. And so when you and I suffer, it would be wrong of us to ask, why is God doing this to me? Because Jesus, when he was present on this earth, went through a suffering that you and I can't even understand. Instead, something that would be good to remember is that we suffer because we were saved by a sufferer. And that is so important for us to remember. And also that when we suffer, we are earning for us an inheritance that will never fade away, an inheritance in which there will be no suffering, an inheritance earned for us through the suffering of Jesus. Hey, my name's David Bowden with Spoken Gospel. It's the mission of Spoken Gospel to speak the gospel out of every corner of Scripture. And right now, we're going through my book, When God Isn't There. It just shows up. And we're working through every single chapter, showing how it points to Jesus. In fact, every Wednesday, we release a new short lesson that we call Spoken Gospel Sessions, where we work through a bit of the Bible, or right now, this book, showing how it points to Jesus. So we ask that you would join us on Wednesdays there. Also, make sure that you check out what all we have to offer by subscribing to our channel and seeing what else we have to offer. Have a great day. See you later.